What's going on, guys? It is Generation Ring. We got a couple of interesting stories to talk about today. The first story that I've got for you guys: Robert Whittaker ruled out fight with Khamzat Chimaev. Former UFC middleweight champion Robert Whittaker, who ranked second in the division, explained why he is not considering Khamzat Chimaev as a potential opponent. Who is going to fight in his weight category next? Chimaev is not the division rating, the Australian said in the next issue of the MMA Hour program. I'm not a big fan of guys trying to slip through. Ratings don't just exist, do they? I love fighting top 5 guys because they are the best of the best and deserve it as they work their way through the division to the top. It's much harder to break through the division than it is to just slip through the top. You advance by defeating all your opponents. This is the system that we have and it must be respected. According to Whittaker, he expects to complete the trilogy with Israel Adesanya, who in the previous fight regaining the championship belt by knocking out Alex Pereira. I understand that I fought him twice and I won third fight. He beat Pereira from the fourth time, and I know for sure that I will only need 3 tries. According to rumors, Khamzat Chimaev will fight his next fight on October 21 at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi against former UFC middleweight title contender Paulo Costa. Next up, Khabib debuted Makhachev's victory over Volkanovski. Despite the fact that before the fight between Islam Makhachev and Alex Volkanovski, Khabib Nurmagomedov predicted an early victory for the reigning UFC lightweight champion. He was not entirely sure that this confrontation would end well for his friend. Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez said this in an interview with the Jibber with Jabber podcast. Before the fight, Khabib called me and said, "Coach, I'm very worried about this fight. Volkanovski is really cool and I'm worried about Slam," said the American specialist. "I replied that everything is fine. We will win this fight. I didn't know how easy or difficult, but I was sure that we would win. I said, I understand your concern, Khabib, but don't worry," and it's actually turned out to be a super difficult fight. On February 11 at UFC 284 in Paris, Islam Makhachev successfully defeated the UFC lightweight championship belt, defeating Alex Volkanovski via unanimous decision 49-46 and 48-47 twice in 5 rounds. Next up, Alexander Shlemenko is ready to apologize to Fedor Emelianenko. Former Bellator middleweight champion Alexander Shlemenko is ready to apologize to Fedor Emelianenko for criticizing the last emperor a year ago for a public conflict with Radimir Gabdulin, who at that time served as the head of the Russian MMA Union. It's hard for me to reach him because Fedor, after all, is a value, and it's not easy to meet him. It's not easy to talk, Storm said, talking to reporters at an open training season in Moscow. I have not been able to do this yet, but I think in the future we can talk, because we are doing a common cause, and for the sake of a common cause, for the future of our sport, the prosperity of our youth, I am ready to sacrifice my personal. If Fedor has any claims against me, I am ready to apologize to him. There are no questions. The main thing is that our youth should not suffer from this. Recall that on April 21, Alexander Shlemenko, as part of the REN-TV Fight Club, will fight according to the rule of kickboxing with the famous Swiss fighter Yasubi Inomoto. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like the video, subscribe the channel and hit the bell button. Until next time, stay well.